guys, today I'm going to review The Summer of Jordi Perez by Amy Spalding. I received an ARC of this through NetGalley in exchange for an honest review, and this comes out April 3rd. The Summer of Jordi Perez is a YA contemporary, and the main character is the 17-year-old Abby. She is a fat girl who has a plus-size blog, and her kind of dream is to work in fashion and have something to do with social media. And so over the summer she actually gets into this internship in one of her favorite boutiques, and she's super excited about that opportunity because this could even potentially lead to her having a job there. And then when she gets there, there's actually another intern that kind of makes her nervous at first because she doesn't know what that means for her future of potentially getting a job there. But then she ends up falling in love with that intern, and that intern is Jordi. And so we kind of follow Abby through her summer, through her internship, through her romance developing with Jordi. Now, as I said, Abby is fat and she identifies as gay, and I thought this representation was both very well done from what I could tell. I think especially the way her being fat was kind of portrayed and how she dealt with it was very well done. I thought there was a great mix between her kind of being very body positive, but at the same time obviously still struggling with general confidence and with struggling how just people in general see her. I thought that was a very interesting aspect, and I thought it was a good mix. There's actually a bit of homophobia and fat phobia coming from her mom, but I personally thought that it was dealt with very well. This is constantly shut down by Abby, but also by Abby's dad, which I found very refreshing. I thought it was dealt with really, really well, but I think it's always something that, you know, you should be aware of. And also in terms of diversity, Jordi is a Mexican-American queer girl. I don't think she ever uses any label. And then Abby's best friend, Malia, is a black girl. I also want to mention that I read a couple of reviews who have mentioned that this book has a lot of like multiple gender attraction erasure. I personally have to say, while reading that, I did not see it, but that might be because I really use gay as an umbrella term. So every time gay was said in a way to just mean same-sex attraction, that's probably just not what I read from it. In general, I just didn't really notice it, but I definitely want to mention it because I know a couple of people felt very, very uncomfortable because of it, and that's another thing that, you know, you should definitely know going into it. Okay, so now into my thoughts about this book. Overall, I thought this was definitely a super enjoyable book. It's a quick read, it's a lot of fun, and I just really enjoyed myself while reading this. I thought the romance was super cute. I can't even like say anything else about it. I just thought that it was a really wonderful romance, and I really loved their development. I loved that there was kind of this instant attraction between them, and then them kind of getting to know each other more and, you know, kind of slowly becoming a thing and everything. I thought that the development was really, really nice. I also really loved the friendships portrayed in here. As I said, there's Malia, who is Abby's best friend, and they've been best friends for a long time, and I thought it was really interesting to see their dynamic. And, you know, Abby has a lot of issues with Malia in the beginning because she, you know, has a boyfriend now for a couple of months, and their friendship kind of changed with that. And then kind of seeing their development when Abby is also then in a relationship, I thought that was very interesting. But then also the friendship that she had with Jax, who is Malia's boyfriend's best friend. And I thought that friendship was actually my favorite part, maybe. Maybe I didn't love it more than the romance, but I thought that was just a really, really great friendship, and a friendship that I think I will just think about a lot more. Their development was also just really great and really nice, and just, I don't know, I think they just made me really, really happy while reading it, and I just wish that we could see a lot more friendships between a guy and a girl like that. Now, obviously, this is one of those cases where I'm like, I guess that friendship can only exist if one of them is not attracted to the other. But I just in general think whatever the sexual or romantic attraction of any of the people involved is, I think that we just need more friendship like that between a guy and a girl. And yeah, I just really appreciate it, even though I wish that we also could have these friendships if both characters are straight. But okay. I mean, someday we might get there. But yeah, as I said, I think both of the friendships that were portrayed were really great. I am someone who always really enjoys when YA books portray a variety of friendships, when they portray a friendship that has been going on for a long time and a new kind of friendship, and seeing them kind of develop throughout different life events and everything. Now, this takes place over a short kind of time span, but still, I just really always like to see that. And I always kind of like seeing that it's okay if there's times when you're annoyed with your best friend, or even it's okay when you feel like, oh, this might not be my best friend anymore. All these kinds of feelings. I feel like we put so much value in, like, I had this friend since kindergarten and we've been best friends and now she's at my wedding, which that's obviously great, but I wish we would put a lot more value into new friendships as well, and into letting go of friendships if they kind of feel toxic, which that's not how intense this book gets as far as the friendship goes, but that's always why I like to see a variety of friendships in books. And I kind of do think that this book kind of portrays that just because someone has been your best friend for a couple of years does not mean that this always has to be your person. I just really enjoyed that. But still, I thought that this ended in a way where you could see that, you know, they could still be best friends forever, but that there's sometimes just phases in your life where it just doesn't work out. I just like kind of seeing a variety of friendships, and I thought that that was very well done in The Summer of Jordi Perez. I think the only thing that I kind of found disappointing in this book was just that there was a little bit of unnecessary drama. It was actually interesting because I thought that the aspect that was talked about was very valid and that it was super important to talk about this, but I thought that it took way too long to resolve this problem and to resolve this drama. I think it was important to talk about it, but then it should have been done in a couple of pages or a chapter, but then it ended up taking so much time, and then that also led to the ending kind of being rushed, and I just felt very disappointed because I thought it was just unnecessary. It was way too long. I just don't think that it really benefited the book. I think there would have been a way to deal with it a little bit better, just make it shorter and then have the ending a bit more fleshed out so we have a little bit more of that. But that's really just a tiny thing. I still ended up giving this book a 4 out of 5 stars and would really recommend it. I think it's really great. It has a wonderful female-female romance and a couple of great friendships. I think there's a couple of people who will see themselves in the relationship between Abby and her mom, and in general I think there will be a lot of people who will see themselves in Abby. I definitely saw a lot of my teenage self in Abby, and I just really enjoyed that, and yeah, I think it's just a wonderful book that I would definitely recommend. So yeah, let me know if you have already read The Summer of Jordi Perez or if you're excited to pick it up when it comes out, and thank you so much for watching. I guess I'll see you soon. Bye!